So about 6 hours ago, I thought about heading up to a retro video game store that I enjoy. It's a little while from me, but it's still something that I wanted to make worthwhile the trip. There were a few things that I saw there previously that I was hoping they would still have, and to pick up for a friend of mine. Um, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But on the way, I also realized that it was payday, so I should have a little extra to work with from the jobs that I have. And I thought, well, I'm not going in for anything particularly for myself, but I do have a wanted list of things. What could possibly go wrong? This is what goes. So, hello everybody, this is Maniac for Bricks, and this is July 29th, 2022, with a video game haul from Digital Press Video Games of Springfield, New Jersey. I always enjoy coming by here. This is a personal, enjoyment that I have. They did not ask me to do anything for this. I genuinely love going there at any time that I can and getting to check out what's there, something different than what I'm used to, and possibly inspiring me for trying other things, and even learning a bit along the way. So there's a lot to unpack with this. Clearly, there's a lot of actual items, but a couple of them can kind of be grouped together for certain categories. I will mention before I go any further, there was actually supposed to be another GameCube game or two that was supposed to be in here. I did ask about putting it aside from the game case. I do not blame the employees. That was my beef of not bringing it up while ringing everything, because to be fair, I was there for like 3 or 4 hours of just moseying around and doing a little research and just wondering about the different things back and forth with myself of should I pick up some of this stuff. I do not blame the employees, but I will try to rectify that soon so I can help out my friend with some of the games he was looking for, which unfortunately did not make it for this video or the posting. And also another note I want to make before I go further into this, about a week ago on the 22nd, I went by Micro Center, which is further up in New Jersey. I think it's the only one in New Jersey, actually, because that's where I got the PC. That's where I'm happy, and I'm glad now everything's fixed and fine with it. But while I was there, just rectifying a few little issues, which, actually was no big deal. I'd also gone through, and I had to get Windows 10 because my system didn't already have it built in. So that's fine, and that had its own little episode afterward this past week, but I'm happy that it works. And I also decided, hey, I saw this there. I didn't already have this, and it's something I've been eyeballing for a while. Might as well pick it up. The 4-port GameCube controller adapter, which is supposed to work with Nintendo Switch, Wii U, PC, and Mac. I'm excited about this thing because I had friends over back in May, and I actually felt a little embarrassed because we were playing Mario Party Superstars, and we were playing with a combination of either Joy-Cons or wired controllers. There was one or two of the wired controllers that had an issue or did not fully charge or something. I'm not entirely sure of what happened with them, but it did interrupt some of the gameplay for a bit. And if I had this then, I probably would have had a little bit of an easier time, but we still enjoyed ourselves with the game. So this is something that I've actually wanted for quite some time, just to, I love the GameCube. I am not married to only playing with the GameCube controller, but it is always fun playing things with different controllers. And yeah, I think I want to try it for this couple different games in the Switch and the Wii U and the PC. Having it for the Mac is not necessary, but it is still cool nonetheless. Just want to acknowledge that is another thing video game related I did pick up recently. I also have a Too Many Games haul that I have yet to film, although I have posted the photos shortly after I got back from Too Many Games that I should probably do at some point before it all disappears into the ether. So I'm going to make a lot of sense out of what's here if I start on the left and work our way around clockwise to the right, because these games don't make a lot of sense on their own until you realize what these are about. So starting on the left, we have the Wii U-Draw tablet, we have a fishing pole, we have a lightsaber, and we have a Cabela's, I think it's called like Top Shot or something like that, like officially. I don't know if the other items in between, I think they might have names, but I'll have to research it. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's in here that is for a couple of videos coming down the pipeline. So subscribe if you haven't already. Like the bell, like the bell, ring the bell, like the video. You know what I mean? All the stuff you do with other people, you do it here. So there's a video, or so there's actually a few videos I have coming down the pipeline that do involve these kinds of things. It also involves things like that bowling ball in the background. The EA Active stuff, that's actually a bundle. So it was actually great because they had just had those in the store shortly before I got there. I think there were 2 of the bowling balls, and I asked them if it was available yet for sale, and they said, "Oh, we didn't put a price on it yet, but we can research it real quick while we're already adding everything up." So I was very happy with that. And yeah, there was a video that involves those kinds of things coming up in the future, and that actually involves a handful of these games to go along with them. There are some of those games that originally would have been bundled or advertised to be compatible with those accessories, so it felt appropriate for me. It's like, well, if I'm gonna get these peripherals, I might as well get the games that they're made to be with. Like, I'm sure they can work with a lot of different games, and I would love to test that. But I also want to see how well they work for the games they intended. So, like the big Cabela's Top Shot, did they have that in mind, that peripheral in mind, when developing the Cabela's games? Or was that kind of an afterthought, or 2 industries working at the same time and never conversing, and just, oh yeah, we'll just package this together so it's more appealing? I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Same thing for the U-Draw tablet. Oh yeah, the Rapala Wii Fish. I find it surprising. Yeah, unfortunately they didn't have it with the case, but that's fine as a disc. I find it surprising that it's WE Fish. Any other companies outside of Nintendo would have tried to capture that Wii Sports, Wii Play, Wii Music, Wii Fit vibe, but the closest they can, I guess, technically legally get is WE instead of WII, because they didn't make it. That was Nintendo, trademark or whatever. So, okay, that makes sense to me. I'm just being dumb on camera. That is called Wii Fish, spelled like that. But it is funny that it exists like that anyways. There's also another Rapala game like that. That's it buried in here. There's also another fishing gaming again, because it's a fishing pole. It was included in a whole bunch of games, and 1 or 2 of them I didn't find in the store, but hey, I think 3 fishing games is more than enough. The Cabela's games, I could have gone to town. I'm just leaving it at 3 for now, and hopefully that's all I gotta worry about for the video. Whether or not that gets revisited afterwards is a whole nother question. The U-Draw, I think it was the same thing. 3 games. Hey, we got a pattern going on here. And I'm going to immediately break that pattern by the EA Active bundles that are up here. Those are entire bundles with the games, the accessories that come with them, the little activity books. It has a box. I don't necessarily need all that stuff because I did actually get EA Active 1 and 2 from Goodwill a little while ago, but it didn't have any of those accessories that it needs for the games. So it's like, okay, I'm glad that they had them at Digital Press so I can actually pick those up, and it wasn't that terrible. Having them with the boxes, I'm okay with that. I just don't want anything, damaging to happen with those. So we'll see how that plays out. I'll figure it out with having duplicates of the games later, but for now, that's okay. I also have the bowling ball. It did not come with a game, but I'm pretty sure I could figure out a game with it. Wii Sports Bowling is an obvious choice. I don't think there was a game that would have been made with it in mind. There's like a Brunswick bowling games for the Wii. I think there was like a bowling arcade hit or something. I remember looking this up at a Goodwill not too long ago. But yeah, we'll figure that all out sometime later. The Kinect, pretty much in the same camp as the other things. Gaming peripherals and accessories. Things beyond the core consoles and controllers that the manufacturers make. Whether or not the manufacturer also makes their own accessories to go with them, that's a big deal. This, like, I'm already playing, it's at least 2 videos long, possibly 3. So having these items is grateful, knowing, yes, I can actually make that video, or a couple of videos. The Kinect is something that I actually have been interested for quite some time to pick up, and I finally did. I actually have hidden in here Kinect Sports for the Xbox 360. And Angry Birds Trilogy, for some reason, says it's compatible with the Kinect, or somehow gives a better experience with it, or something. I'm kind of interested in the game on its own, so I'm just gonna leave it at that, and see out of curiosity how that's gonna work with it. Another game that I've really wanted to try with the Kinect was Fruit Ninja. I don't know if it's physical release or digital. I'll have to look that one up because I couldn't think of that when I was getting it in the store. But I also already had Kinect Adventures, which was again a Goodwill find recently, and I'm like, yeah, I've danced back and forth about getting a Kinect for a long time, and Kinect Sports was probably the biggest push for me to get into it. But it's like, well, if I already have one game that definitely requires it, I think I have a bunch in my collection already that, are compatible with it but not required. So let's, finally dip our toes and see about the Kinect more for myself. So that'll be interesting. All that will be interesting sometime later. I'm going to cut back over here to this big black box, the N64 cabinet drawer thing. I don't know the official name for it, and I looked up another one not too long ago. This thing can hold 24, if I recall correctly, 24 Nintendo 64 cartridges, and that is something that seems really neat to me. I've thought about it for a long time, like I want to say years of getting a unit like that, or possibly 2 units like that to hold my N64 collection. For those who don't know, the cartridges are really not that savvy for putting onto a bookshelf or organizing correctly, decently, without stacking them on top of each other or putting them sideways. They don't have anything along the edges of the cartridges themselves to really tell them apart from each other, like the NES or the Super Nintendo or other systems around that time are very known for. They were just a blank slate on the top of them. So it's something that will make it a lot easier to access those games because I will have them in neat rows and not stacked on top of each other like I have them already. I had them for a while, and I hope that doesn't disrupt how well they work or anything like that. I have approximately 32 N64 games right now, so it's just over the amount that would be needed to fit into there, but I could see it expanding a little bit further if I really needed to get another unit, to accommodate for that. If I get towards 50, even if it's in the upper 40s, I'll think about it. But even for now, this will be a very useful unit because I've already grown up having an NES version of that where it has 2 drawers. I will share it at some other time. But it's essentially looks like the same thing but taller. It has 2 drawers where the top drawer has the NES controllers and the zapper that can be fed in there with the wires, and then a larger lower drawer that you can feed in several of the cartridge games. Again, something that I've maxed out a long time ago, but still holds a majority of them that's easier to keep track and to get them as I need them. And also storing them very neatly so it's not as dusty or anything, from the elements that could get in the way of them. So that is neat. That is a nice item that I finally, for after years, finally picked up and am happy to use. As I work our way back, I'm going to go to another N64 item in the middle here, this N64 Game Shark. I had no idea this existed. I never knew this existed. Whatever the phrase is, I know a certain way I say it. It's an iconic phrase. This was an item that I happened to find in the N64 game area, and I thought, this might be interesting. So I looked it up. I looked up what kinds of games were compatible with it, if there were codes available for those games, and it turned out it had most of my library of N64 games covered in there. So I thought, yeah, let's try it out and see where it takes us. There's a whole lot of the N64 games that I've had to either go back to complete them, like Super Smash Bros. For some reason, had lost the unlockables. I unlocked those characters when I was a kid, and somehow I have to go back through doing that again. But I also figure this might help me open up to new areas as well for other games. Like, for the longest time, I never knew Beetle Adventure Racing had several unlockable cars. And this might help me ease into it much faster, as a racing game, faster, to check out what those cards are like. See if they're any different, handling wise in the game. A whole bunch of other games kind of in that same mentality. But I've also never owned a cheat device. I've played with cheat codes many times, and I could expand upon that in a separate video, as well as cheat devices in general. But I thought, even more appealing to me than the game Genie or the Action Replay, this particular Game Shark. It just seemed like a weird thing to me that just spoke to me. Just like the lightsaber Wii remote holder, just like, how do I say no to that? I don't know right off the bat, by the way, what color it goes. I'm just going to assume by the style of the lightsaber, it's probably red for Darth Vader, but I could be wrong. I'm not a Star Wars fanatic. I do not know the lightsaber shapes too well, but it feels like familiar territory that it might be a Darth Vader lightsaber. I don't know. You can correct me on that. What else do I have here? That little bag contains a battery cover for the Xbox 360 controller. So for some reason, I have a black controller that doesn't have a back cover for the batteries. So I was happy to replenish that in this visit. I think my other Xbox 360 controllers should be good. I'll probably double check on that just to be sure. But it was something that I didn't think of at first, but I'm like, oh yeah, that is something I need. Yeah, that'll be worth it. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire second edition for the PlayStation. This is going to be on its own topic of videos as well, and basically of CD PC games that I grew up with, and some of them I either don't have a computer that's up to par that could even play them, let alone screen record them, or I just don't have those CD copies of the games anymore, or whatever the case may be. So I figure, I'll get the port of it that's on another console and play it through there and, do the capture and everything I need to do, and able to talk about it on video. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire second edition is a weird one that sticks in my head for a long time. And then I saw that Scott the Woz did a video about game show video games. And he mentioned that one in there, and it immediately clicked back with me. I remembered the exact style of how the game went. I remember how if you don't enter your name in the beginning, Regis will talk through, and he'll enter either his name or Kelly's name automatically if you wait too long on the screen. Like, all that stuff rushed back into me. Or even like the cheeky little things he says if you get like a 0 paycheck for answering none of the questions correctly, or something like that. Like, that, yes, thank you. So that was awesome. And I'm happy to say that I found 5 of them in the store when I visited. So it gave me an easy way to look through to see, okay, there's one in decent condition that I'm willing to go with. I don't mind used condition. I could probably talk about that another time later. Used condition is fine to a point. This is one that, looks good enough that I won't mind if it's, got a little ripped sticker tag, that's not a big deal. What else do I got? Oh, Twilight Princess. Yeah, that's important. So, Twilight Princess, for the Gamecube specifically, I used to own. I don't remember if there was a Player's Choice edition of it, or if I just owned it straight up like this. But this was a game that I had been wanting to get back for a very long time. That game and the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition I used to have for the GameCube up to a point, and I'll elaborate more on that later. But at least now I know I can play it again on the GameCube. Funny enough, back then I had the strategy guide to play this game, and that strategy guide actually did have compatibility with both the GameCube version and the Wii version, as they were released at the same time. However, the GameCube version, as many know, is mirrored. Everything in it is flipped from what the Wii version has. So, if you play through the GameCube and you want to use the strategy guide, you have to remember that everything's in the opposite direction, like all the maps or locations of certain items. I do have struggle with that every so often, but I do enjoy playing it through the GameCube. I already mentioned I love that console, so there you go. Let's see, what else do I have to wrap up here? 2 Pokemon. So 2 Pokemon plushes I just found in one of their large bins of plushes from various video game characters. And I had actually thought about getting a whole bunch of Mario-related ones because of different items or power-ups, especially ones that could be used for like Mario Kart or something. I've seen them go around every so often, and I'm like, man, that'd be kind of cool to have all the different items from Mario Kart as plushes. But I also hesitated on that because I think it was already, I didn't want to hold them up or anything. And I was okay with just sticking with the Pokemon ones for now. Gengar is really cool. Can't lie. Can't go wrong with him. And Magikarp, he looks so natural right now that I was happy to have those. I was informed that the Pokemon ones don't come in as often as the Super Mario ones, and they don't last as long as the Super Mario ones. So I'd feel fine without getting the other plushes that I wanted to get, and getting these first so I don't miss it the next time. Like, there was the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition was available at the same time last time I was there, when I saw Twilight Princess in the case. And I'm kind of miffed that I didn't pick it up when I saw it because it wasn't there today. So I just, had to bite that one. I'll have to wait until next time. They do post on social media when they get different trade-ins and what items there are. So I'll just have to keep that in the back of my head of like, look for that on social media so I can find those, and hopefully on a day that I can go, or, phone or something, pick up that game if it does return, because that would be awesome. I of things from my childhood that I have yet to collect from my for my collection, there's plenty of stuff in here that I don't grow up with, but is still fascinating nonetheless. Twilight Princess was a definite one that I wanted to pick up. Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition is definitely one. Maybe I'd do it as a separate video, but the other one I forgot to ask about today and only thought about now. I should have asked if they had any of the old versions of the Xbox 360. And I know they're usually very prone to hardware failure, but I kind of want it just for the for the prop, for the, for the video and things like that, of having the arcade bundle version. It was like 100 something megabytes or something really small for memory, but would work very well for my purposes and possibly around my house, actually. I mean, I could always supplement a 360 in two different parts of the house just out of convenience, or whatever I want to play or record or whatever. The Xbox 360 has such a huge library for me and my collection that there's a lot of stuff I can play through it for videos coming up. So that's a possibility. I don't know why I'm brainstorming all this stuff publicly to you guys, but I'm really happy to actually be brainstorming. It's so, I cannot tell you how happy it makes me to have a PC that's running better than I've known before, from desktop to laptop for many years, to have something that will make what I really want to make videos about. I've been trying to make for the past 4 years of content, possibly even longer, and try to push this channel into a new, brighter direction while still having things that I enjoy, but getting to talk about other things that I didn't get a chance to enjoy before. So it means a lot to me, and this is one of those reflections of that. Now I feel more liberty to jump more into this stuff that I've always wanted to. To be fair, this video itself is only recorded on my phone, barely edited or anything, but this is a haul video. I don't really expect it to be all jazzed up. I think I mentioned that in the previous haul video a while ago. Another thing that's in here that I didn't mention in basically closing out, I do have a whole bunch of stickers. So these are really cute stickers that were by the counter, and I thought I'll throw them in because they look nice and maybe I could use them for some decoration. I do like collecting different stickers and some people's artwork. I've collected it for years because they have really nice art based on things I enjoy. So I'll zoom in on that real quick right now. This is probably going to be awkward. When I say zoom in, I mean I have to throw this tripod out. And boom. And boom. So I picked up 8 stickers. I have Cappy from Super Mario Odyssey. I have the main characters of Super Mario 64, that particular render. I've got Trico, I've got Latias, and you know me. This is Pokemon Sapphire for me. So hell yeah. Also includes Minun. We've got some Animal Crossing. It's technically New Horizons, even though they have different outfits, but it works. Gets the idea. And we got Luigi, as in Mario Brothers Luigi, like the classic kind from the arcade, and then a modern Luigi, just chilling, enjoying watching videos or listening to music through Switch, which is basically how I do things, except I'm not laying on the floor. But I actually do use my Switch quite a bit for watching YouTube videos and with headphones on. So, yeah, that's cool. So there's a whole group of things, whole haul that I have here. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will entertain any questions in the comments down below. I will try not to spoil other videos that I'm trying to work on because I got a million ideas and several scripts, and hopefully you'll get to see those videos real soon. And I don't just mean video game videos too. I mean Lego videos as well. So take care. Have a wonderful day. Again, thank you to Digital Press for their great service and helping me out with a whole bunch of stuff. And we'll get that other issue rectified real soon. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Or if you're going to Brick Fair, Virginia, I will talk to you soon.